After finding the rest of the Puftons, we went south to head around the mountain in the middle of the island. It's a nice ride out on the trails with the unicycle when there's nothing around trying to kill you. The cannibals became more entertainment than a threat at this point. I don't know if I'd say I was having fun, but they were relentless. What else was I supposed to do? On the way, not far off the trail, was a marked grave surrounded by cannibals. We found the last member of Bravo team and a shotgun in it. Maintenance Bunker B is in a cannibal camp on the southwest end of the island, and it was flooded. I picked up a compound bow in there and noted the location of Maintenance Bunker C. Of course, it's on the other end of the island. There wasn't anything else there, so we moved east towards the residential bunker on the other side of the mountain. On the mark was an abandoned white helicopter that was parked next to a cave. It didn't look like the one that's been flying overhead. There were dead mutants all around and another mercenary campsite nearby with a corpse. The cave led into a stairwell that went down through unfinished construction with a key access door at the bottom. I went down more stairs and heard gunfire and fighting behind one of the doors. The door opened into a wide hallway with Timmy LeBlanc fighting off a giant blob of flesh. There were baby mutants everywhere. I ran in to help. Eric showed up not long after, and right behind him was Jianyu and 3 mercenaries. All I remember was an explosion, and Eric getting shot by Jianyu before the mutant grabbed and knocked me out.
Get down, son!
Little mutant Timmy, all grown up.
I woke up to a bunch of dead mutants, including the massive blob that was now blocking the way I came in. No one else in sight. Again, I don't know how I lived through any of that. I pushed forward down the hall through the door at the end to a smaller hall with 3 doors equally spaced out to the right that opened to living quarters. This bunker was set up like a hotel. Further down was a door into a stairwell. On the other side of the stairwell was a security room. The stairwell led down to more of the same halls and rooms. Throughout the rooms I found emails and letters from Doris and Barbara that mentioned Edward dreaming about a golden city and bad visions about the soft opening. Apparently Edward screwed up the locations of the bunkers. What does that have to do with anything? In one of the rooms I found a katana. In Dr. Masaki's room was more paperwork about the calculations being wrong and a letter from Jianyu telling him not to worry. It looks like Masaki may have contacted Timmy. In Gordon Langston's room was a map sent by Hank with 4 marked fishing villages I'll have to check out later. There was a spacesuit sitting on his desk next to an email about Hank finding 8 bodies in these suits in a cave they called D7 and another location marked Luxury Bunker. In the security room was a letter from Hank to Edward about getting a hold of me if anything happened to him. Well, we know what happened. We just don't know how or why yet. There was also a live feed of Timmy sitting at a set of locked double doors. The security room had the access control, so I opened it up for him. Further down the stairwell was another key access door at the end of the hall that led outside. There was an infirmary or some kind of examination room next to it with a couple corpses laying on the only two tables in a room of some people from the cult. One had a golden mask, like a few of the cannibals I saw, covering his face. In the back of the room was a recording of cult activity. I took some time to review all the recordings I've found so far to try to put things together. According to emails, letter, and video, Jian Yuzhang was employed as a corporate lawyer for Puff Corp on the island. Strange structures and tons of dead bodies were being found while excavating and constructing Hollow Springs Resort. Jian Yu didn't seem to like what was going on and what was being found. Hank Keyes, the head of construction, noticed Jian Yu may be working for Sahara Therapeutics and started keeping an eye on him. Dr. Masaki tried to warn Jian Yu of something, but he dismissed it as a fairy tale. Cultists started showing up and trespassing on the island just to kill themselves. Hank didn't know what to do about it. Jian Yu took a couple Puff Corp mercenaries and started executing them. After Edward found out through videos they found, he fired Jian Yu and kicked him off the island, which ended up possibly saving him from whatever happened here. Months later, Jian Yu was recruited by Sahara Therapeutics, who offered him more money and resources than Puffton, and returned to the island with a team of Sahara mercenaries to assess the situation. Notes found in one of his mercenary camps suggest Jian Yu wanted to get rich from this. From what? Maybe the ore they found down here. I'm not sure yet. After exploring the residential bunker, we set off to find all these other locations marked on the map. We found a few more GPS locations with dead mercenaries. Other spots led into caves with dead cultists and random guests, as well as a good bit of much-needed supplies. We found a bunch of strange schematics too while we were out. I'll have to take a closer look at later. We also found evidence of some kind of artifact and paperwork showing 6 pieces spread across the island. We found 3 so far. There's caves all over the island. We've been through so many I've lost count. Maybe 15 or so. Skeletons and corpses in every one. A third of them were pretty small, usually one room. The artifacts found were in the deeper caves, which means most likely so will the next 3.